when this shoe originally released, we were living in very, very different times. Michael Jordan had just retired for the very last time, like 3 years before that. It was part of this LS lifestyle series, which also included the Jordan 5 Olive, the Jordan 4 Thunder and Lightning. I always forget what other shoes were part of that series, but now it is back again. Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow. This shoe is dropping on September 5th for $220. This shoe did originally came out in 2006. Like I said in the intro, part of the lifestyle series at the time. It is the first time that it is coming back, and first impressions of the shoe. I think it's nice. I don't think it's great. I think there are just some better yellow and black Jordan 4s that are more bold, that are more out there, that it just, I think, appeals to be a bit more, even though it might not be as wearable, but as just like shoes and something I see in a vacuum. The Thunder and Lightning I just prefer over this. Both hues are yellow, not so much white, but the yellow and black, both hues that I think those are just kind of nicer. And I think there are just other colorways that have this kind of color blocking that I would prefer. But with that said, it is a majority white Jordan 4. You can't really make these too ugly, even if you tried. In the box of the shoe, it is a Michael Jordan face box. In 2006, it came with a Jumpman box, so slightly different there. And in terms of the materials on the shoe, it is leather on the base layer. Now the color of the leather, it is actually white. There's no like sail aged off-white tinge to it. So I do like that. The leather itself, you can see a lot of that texture. Now that doesn't mean just because you can see and feel the texture that the leather is much better or like great quality. You can just put leather in a drum and keep beating it. It'll create this leather. It'll also make it softer. I will say though, this leather does feel pretty nice to the touch. It is not the thickest, but it definitely is not the thinnest. I've felt thinner leather the Jordan brand has used before, a lot of times on the Jordan 1s. So I think this leather is actually pretty decent. Now, of course, this is a Jordan 4, so you see the netting on the side panels as well as going up the tongue. And the Jordan 4 wings here, that is actually just like a nubuck piece. It does feel like it's got like a synthetic layer over it. Like it doesn't feel too nice to the touch. And you'll see these 4 eye stays toward the top, toward the bottom. That immediately stands out from the 2006 version. I don't have that like in hand to do a side-by-side comparison, but just from the photos, it looks significantly darker in color. So some people might prefer this, some people might prefer that. And another difference when you put a photo of the 06 version to this is the shape. It is slightly different as well. And then moving up the tongue, the shoe just comes with 1 set of laces, white out of the box, no extras, even for $220. You don't deserve them. And at the very top of the tongue, of course, you will see the Jordan Jumpman flight patch. And what makes this shoe extra special, I guess, is that the patch is removable, and under it you will see Rare Air branding. And if you remember, originally in 2005 the undefeated Jordan 4s also came with the same type of feature. And then right behind the tongue you will see an upside down Air Jordan tag, pretty common for a Jordan 4. Wrapping around to the booty of the shoe, you will see the booty tab. That is not actually in the usual kind of rubber TPU material. That is actually just leather as well. I believe in 2006 was also the same type of setup with this Jumpman piece. That's like its own piece actually, so it's not like embroidered into the shoe or anything. And that color is like a very dark, deepish type of gray. Same type of color as the eye stays on the top and bottom of the shoe. Now it is a Jumpman on the shoe. That's how it came in 2006. It is not Nike Air branded here. Now in terms of cushioning, the Jordan 4 does come with a polyurethane midsole with a Nike Air unit in the heel as well as one in the forefoot. The midsole here, very glad to say, it is actually just white. No sail, no aging here, no off-white, with the majority herringbone rubber outsole and Jumpman in the cutout. And in terms of the insoles, just Jumpman branding, and they are dream style insoles. And in terms of sizing and comfort, I am a wide and flat footer. For Jordan 4s, I typically now just go true to size. A few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, they did make the Jordan 4s kind of tight in the toe box. They've since kind of molded and corrected the shape a little bit. I feel like going true size does fit me okay for the shoe, but I will caution. The Jordan 4s to me just aren't very comfortable. They still feel so stiff, so brickish that it just, I don't know, even when breaking it in, it just doesn't feel that good. And it's the same with the shoe. Just felt super stiff, like sliding your feet in, and yeah, it is just not great. The comfort, definitely for me, out of Jordan 1 to 14, it is the worst one. And that brings the total score of the Jordan 4 Tour Yellow to 28 out of 40. A pretty average score compared to other general releases. Now first, it is colorway. It is decent. I don't think it's delicious. I don't think it's legendary, but it is a white Jordan 4 with hints of yellow and black. You honestly can't really screw that one up, but it is nice. And in terms of the materials, I think it's actually pretty decent leather here. Not the thickest, but I don't think it's the thinnest that I've felt. I do kind of like how it feels to the touch. Pretty soft. And if you like to see and feel that texture on the leather, it definitely had that here too. And in terms of the comfort, just an absolute brick on feet. It doesn't come with nice polyurethane insoles, so that doesn't really help there. It is very, very average. In terms of the versatility of this shoe, of course, the 4s, very easy to wear, super mainstream, cannot go wrong with the shape, the wearability of the colorway, cannot really go wrong with it either. The yellow, it is the boldest color on the shoe, but in such limited amounts, I don't think it screams. I don't think it is offensive, so super versatile sneaker here. Last year we saw a Jordan 4 Rare Air and a bunch of other rare colorways. Jordan Brand was obviously really leaning in to the Rare Air concept. This, I believe, if I remember correctly, is the first Rare Air shoe for 2026. Is it a hit? It at least has the nostalgic hits, but honestly, if I'm being just completely truthful, I've never really loved this colorway, but I will say it is nice, and if you love it, you're definitely not wrong. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Air Jordan 4 Tour Yellow. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.